the recovery. Once again, the cross. They could shoot. And it's in!
As that goes round, he gets inside and gets a shot past the goalkeeper. Wonderful work from Brad.
Over the right side, the shot and the goal!
Good evening and welcome to this United Premier Soccer League 1 spring season contest between our hosts this evening, Lakeland United 2 and the visitors Player Club Brandon. My name's Mark Turner. I'll be your commentator this evening with the wonderful Veda Media team. Excited to cover this Florida West Conference game at the tail end of the season. We are really getting to what is known as the business end now. Two teams vying for a place in post-season. Player Club Brandon, well positioned, top of the table. We'll talk about that more here in just a few minutes. Lakeland United, though, hot on their heels and well in position to head into the post-season and extend their soccer some more. We'll be coming at you this evening from Bryant Stadium in Lakeland, Florida, where it is a balmy 80 degrees. We do have a little bit of cloud cover. That is a double-edged sword, as you might imagine. It makes sure players aren't under direct sunlight, but it also increases the humidity factor. So we'll see how that wears on the players as we move through the evening. Possible chance of rain, but probably not until the end of the game. So hopefully we can get in under the wire on that potential precipitation. Players just limbering up, coming out to the field. Our camera trained on the Player Club Brandon players there in the black and yellow. It'll be the starting lineup for Lakeland United 2. Number 30, Riki Yamasaki. Number 38, Connor Borg. Number 33, Aaron Debus. Number 59, Twan Rowling. Number 28, Pedro Montahini. Number 40, Luca Pereira. Number 19, Luca Frigo. Number 43, Jose Rodriguez. Number 50, Pedro Calot. Number 22, Lucas George Santos. And finally, number 32, Sajar Makachewa, and the head coach, Pedro Evo. Hoping to get you the starting lineup for Brandon here in just a moment. We have a full roster. We're just trying to determine who the starting 11 are, but as soon as we have that confirmed, we'll of course share that with you. The geography nerds among you, those who are interested in where exactly we're broadcasting from today, Bryant Stadium in Lakeland, Florida is right in between Tampa and Orlando. So it's sort of central West Florida. Two teams actually not that far apart geographically. It's about a 30, maybe 40-minute drive between the two. Lakeland is more inland and Brandon out toward the coast, heading toward St. Petersburg. All right, enough of the geography. Let's focus on the soccer match. It's underway with Lakeland United in the all-blue strip. Shooting from right to left on your screen here in the first half. Brandon obviously left to right. Nice calm start from Lakeland United, trying to build out of the back. A little heavy on that back pass. Going to engage the keeper early on though. Give him a chance to get touches. A lot of pressure here from Brandon though. Really high press. Working well to try and win the ball in the attacking third. Nice play from Lakeland United though, working their way out of trouble. And the referee decides that Brandon were just a little too enthusiastic. Free kick favouring Lakeland United 2. So I hope Lakeland United 2 fans will forgive me if from this point on I just refer to the team as Lakeland. I don't get paid by the word, so... And player club Brandon will just be Brandon hereforth. Easier on me and probably easier on you as well. And so it's Lakeland with the free kick, playing it short. Looking to move the ball out on the left-hand side. Asking for a little support. Winger tucks in, ball's back to the fullback. Nice composed start, like I said before, from Lakeland. We'll dig into these teams' respective records and positions in the league table as we move through the game. For right now, we're seeing Lakeland attacking down the left-hand side. Brandon goalkeeper, not quite sure if he wanted to come out for that. Decided, yep, I can get to that. And maybe it's not quite of a panic situation as I thought initially. Takes his time in picking the ball up though under pressure from a Lakeland player. Ultimately, it's going to be a kick out the hands. A deep one all the way into Lakeland's half. Bit of a shove in the back. Referee is going to give a free kick there. Good refereeing. I think he wanted to see if the Brandon player could stay on his feet. I do apologise. It's going to be incredibly difficult to make out the Brandon numbers, especially from our distance here in commentary. Those numbers seem very faint, and against the pattern on that jersey, it's incredibly challenging. So we'll do the best we can, certainly in situations where there's a goal scorer, an assist and so on. Right now it is Brandon who are attacking down the left-hand side. Arms go up for the offside, and the linesman agrees. So less than 3 minutes into the match, nobody's had a sight on goal yet. Good high aggressive pressing from Brandon. Nice composed possession from Lakeland so far. Lakeland again calm under pressure. Deciding on this occasion, hoofing the ball out might be a more effective tactic. Nothing wrong with that. There is a time and a place for that, but it's Lakeland now. They attack down the right-hand side. Lovely ball, splitting the defence. Ball may come into the middle, but there's a whistle, I think, for offside, which is a great shame. That was a wonderful build-up from Lakeland. Defence splitting pass. We're going to see it again here, and yes, there was an offside call. It wasn't to the man receiving the ball. It was to the man ultimately here who receives the ball in the middle of the field, but nevertheless, good officiating. The minute that player in the centre of the park became engaged, linesmen had to put their flag up. Well played on all fronts. Good build up from Lakeland. And good officiating from our fellows in red. Again, good work from Lakeland, winning the ball back. Asking a lot of a teammate, but he delivers. Oh, and once again, Lakeland giving up the ball. A couple of moments there where they were a little bit frantic. That can tend to happen in the first half of a game. Tons of energy. Players eager to get involved, pressing, snapping at one another's heels. Into the box, intercepted by Lakeland. Brandon win it back And the ball comes to the centre of the park. Snapshot, well gathered from Lakeland United's goalkeeper, Yamasaki. Very aware of that. You can see him checking his angles, his distance from the post. The snapshot comes in, comfortably smothers the ball, gathering it in between his hands and chest. Good early touch for Yamasaki. That's our first shot on target. Brandon now looking to create a second. Once again, I think we have an offside call. Both teams getting caught out by the offside trap early on in this match. You know, I could refer to Lakeland United 2 as Lakeland, or I could just refer to them as the Swans, which is the nickname they most commonly go by. Either way, their fans are going to know who I'm talking about, and it is the Swans who are in possession right now. We're going to feed the ball down the right-hand side. Ball comes back into the middle. Head up, seeking options. Decides to tuck it back. Nice little one-touch soccer here from Lakeland. Trying to pull Brandon around and create some space in their back line. Oh, Brandon getting caught out. But it doesn't cost them on this occasion. Ball ricocheting harmlessly back to the Brandon. Harmlessly, I should say, back to the Brandon goalkeeper. It's purely going to be a free kick there, I'd imagine. Gentlemen, we don't swap shirts until the end of the game. Nice strong header out. It's the Swans again looking to get on the attack. They do seem to have the better of the early running. We're about into the 8th minute now, and I'd say Lakeland looking more relaxed of the two teams and more composed of the two teams early on. Although it is Brandon with a single shot on frame at this point. Archuka on the left-hand side of the screen getting some early touches and having some early influence through the centre of the field for Lakeland. I apologise, I think I may have mispronounced Shajar Machuka's name when I gave you the rundowns. So I'm going to try and correct that now, and from this point on, number 32 for Lakeland. In the meantime, as I'm trying to fix my pronunciation, Brandon have won themselves the first corner of the game. Nice ball deep into the back post, evades a Lakeland header. Brandon looking to try and recycle the ball on the far side of the field. Not particularly convincing from Lakeland, clearing their lines. A harmless shot. That one won't trouble Yamasaki. Strength from Brandon. Bowling his man. Laying the ball out to that left-hand channel. Just a little heavy on the pass. Very mindful of the fact that in the absence of being able to call numbers too readily on the player club Brandon jerseys, every time I refer to a player, just by saying Brandon, it makes it sound like every player on that team is called Brandon. I'm guessing it's possible that they may have one or two Brandons on their team, but I doubt it's a full complement of 11 Brandons. Great work down the left-hand side from Lakeland United. Really quick feet. Ball into the box. He's got number 3, Matt. Great header down. And that's your opening goal of the game. Really wonderful header. They always tell us centre forward, you head the ball down and ideally back where it came from. You don't necessarily need to do both, but at least try and do one. And that's what we saw there from Lakeland United. We'll get you a goal scorer here in just a second. It was number 40 on the assist. Ball into the box. I think perhaps that was Frigo, number 19, getting the final touch. It was certainly an assist by number 40, Herrera, Really excellent work down the left-hand side. We're going to go ahead and give that goal to Frigo for right now, but we will confirm that again with subsequent watches. Most important point, though, is that Lakeland United 2 are on the board. Opening goal, 1-0 after 10 minutes. This is a top-of-the-table clash. I wouldn't say that was necessarily a shock goal, but Lakeland United are behind Brandon in the standings currently. Brandon's record is mightily impressive so far this season. They've played 10 games. They've won 8 of those 10 games, only losing 1. Currently on 25 points, and like I said, top of the tree, first place in the Florida West Conference. Lakeland also played 10 games, only managed to win half of them. Like Brandon, though, they've only lost the 1 game. Their Achilles heel this season has been that they have drawn or tied 4 of the matches. There's no other team in the division that have drawn or tied more. There's one other team that equal them in that record, but no team have tied or drawn more matches than Lakeland. They currently sit on 19 points, 6 points behind Brandon in 4th place. Working again down the left-hand side. Lovely ball into the box. Oh, just a little much, asking a little much from the Lakeland forwards. Again, good one-touch football out here on the left-hand side. A nice ball into the box by Machuca. Just asking a touch too much of his teammates. As I said, only 6 points separate these two teams. What's interesting, if you look at the schedule, is that Brandon have been playing since late March. Lakeland only since late April. Didn't have their first game till the 26th of April. Which means they've played their 10 games in a much more compressed timeline. On the surface of it, you think that would be a negative for them, but perhaps they've gotten into a rhythm now in a short period of time. Brandon with the ball over the top, looking to try and create something here and get back into the match. Not much in the way of numbers, though. Having to wait for the cavalry to arrive. In the meantime, Lakeland doing a great job of defending and clearing their lines. Yeah, so I do wonder whether or not Lakeland, whether or not it will catch up with them. The fact they've played so many games in such a short period of time. Well, like I said, if they find themselves in a really good rhythm. Right now, they find themselves on the attack. Lovely through ball in the right-hand channel. Ball into the box. Can they get on the end of it? Oh, is Machuca trying to connect with that ball across the box. Excellent defending from Brandon. Last gasp stuff. Clearing their lines. Look at Machuca herring through. Desperate to get on the end of that. And a wonderful sliding interception. Saves Brandon's bacon. Rather than a goal, it's just a corner for Lakeland United. We'll come back to our observations regarding league standings and schedule here in a moment. Let's watch this corner first. All the Lakeland players huddled at the back post, crashing the ball together, and really they had their pick of it there. There were 3 or 4 Lakeland players who could have gotten on the end of that ball. Brandon just caught watching. Probably should have done a little bit more with that corner. Look at this. There's 3, 4, all Lakeland players in pole position to get on the end of that ball. And the one that doesn't connect with it too well. Skips out for a goal kick. So in terms of recent records, Lakeland are on a pretty good tear right now. Like I said, draws are their Achilles heel. They haven't lost in the last 5 games. They registered 3 draws in that period. So 3 of the 4 draws they've had this season have come in the second half of their 10-game season so far. So they're not losing, but they're struggling to turn that good soccer into 3 points. Brandon, on the other hand, 4 wins from the last 5 games and just the 1 draw. So they really are the form team coming into this match. Lakeland United not interested in form, though. All they're interested in is the W today, and right now, They are in pole position for it, albeit just 15 minutes into the game. Oh, nice footwork in the middle of the park from Pedro Calat. Ball finds its way out to the gentleman who assisted the only goal of the game so far. Lovely ball from Machuca. Oh, that almost led to an opening. I have to say, I do like Lakeland's creativity. Really nice footwork all over the park. Nice blend of confident ball possession and first-time touches when necessary. Do a really nice job of managing the tempo of the game. And right now it's led to them opening up the Brandon defence on 2 or 3 occasions. Still just the 1 goal to show for it though, as they get ready to take their second corner. Familiar cluster at the back post of Lakeland United players, all of whom are going to spring forward here in a moment. One of whom is going to try and get the ball goalwards. Ball toward the back post. It is a Lakeland player, I think, that gets on the end of it. And it's a goal kick. Again, 2 corners in quick succession where Lakeland United have connected with the ball. That can be, you can forgive that one for not making clean contact. It's a bit of a scrum, and I think maybe when the player headed the ball, he was facing the wrong way as well. So it would have been quite the execution. We've gotten that one on frame and tested the goalkeeper. Tell you one thing that jumped out at me when I was looking at the standings. It was that despite Brandon having the better record and being top of the table, Lakeland have amassed 31 goals to Brandon's 26. And a heavy tackle there after the ball had gone. The referee whistled for a free kick, and I don't think it'll be anything else. The ball had definitely gone. There wasn't much of an attempt to play it there. Anyway, so Lakeland have been free scoring this year. 31 goals. Outscoring Brandon by 5 goals over the 10 games. The goals against isn't too shabby either. Just 15 goals conceded across the 10 games. Brandon faring a little better in that regard. Only conceding 10 goals so far this season. An average of 1 per game, which is mightily impressive. But the respective goal scoring records would suggest that there are probably more games in this goal yet this evening. It's going to not just be the one that settles this match. Lakeland United, lovely touch in the middle of the park. And looking to spring again up the left-hand side where they've had quite a bit of joy so far this evening. Again, a lot of patience in the build-up. Ball into the box, deflected. Lakeland will have an opportunity to recycle. It's number 19, whipping the ball into the back post. Good work from Brandon, though. That was Frigo whipping the ball in. We think it's Frigo who scored the opening goal to assist the second one on that occasion, but again, vital touch from a Brandon defender. Oh, well, evidently not. The referee adjudged that to have come off a Lakeland player last, leading to a Brandon goal kick. Not seeing much in the way of urgency from Brandon yet. They haven't really found a rhythm in this game. You'd think being a goal down, now there's no need to panic, and they only conceded the goal, 10 minutes in. They have another 80 minutes plus stoppage. It's Lakeland who are very much still on the front foot and forging most of the attacks. I said, Brandon really struggling to find a rhythm right now. All chips into the box. Oh, lovely flick. It's Machuca trying to bring it under his spell. A lovely little flick in there. it was Montahini trying to get things going for Lakeland, and Brandon at the other end winning themselves a free kick. Lakeland once again trying to bring the ball out the back. Nice pressing from Brandon. Now this may be the shift in gears that we'd be looking for from the league leaders. Sloppy pass though, and Lakeland able to regain possession. Looking to counter themselves now down the right hand side. Lovely flick in the inside channel, and there's a body over in the middle if they can find it. Good work there from the Brandon keeper, well off his line. Spotting the danger early on. I've got to say, Lakeland are very composed under pressure. Even when they lose the ball, they don't panic. Just drop back behind the ball, keep their shape. Right now they're on the attack though, and the referee has judged that to be a foul. I'm not sure I agree with that, but interested to see that one back again. I don't suppose it really matters. The referee's blown his whistle now, but didn't seem to be much in it. And with the throw in again, sloppy touch. You really are struggling to find any kind of rhythm right now. I hate to keep repeating myself by stating the obvious, but this just doesn't look like a top of the table outfit right now. You have to imagine there's more to come, and they will grow into the game. Late tackle from Lakeland, easy call for the referee. So we know a lot about Lakeland United. This is a team I've covered multiple times, both Lakeland 1 if you like, and this team as well, Lakeland 2. Let's just pause for a second as Lakeland are on the attack. On the left-hand side, oh, lovely little turn. Creating space for the pass. Oh, again, good footwork. Ball into the box. Header straight at the goalkeeper. That was another of those situations where the ball either needed to go back where it came from, or down, or both. Instead, it was a pretty straight header directly into the breadbasket of a very grateful goalkeeper. So yes, Lakeland United, very familiar to me. This isn't the first time we've covered games at Bryant Park. Of course, we know this outfit as 3 times Florida West Conference champions. These are not strangers to success here in the sky blue. Brandon, though, a little less familiar. I know they were founded by a former Brazilian professional, and say that they are trying to play the game the way the Brazilians would like. which their record so far this season suggests has been a success for them, or this evening so far. Not much evidence of the Brazilian way. Looks like one of the Brandon players is having to leave the field early. It's always a shame to see. Enforced substitution happening on the far side of the field. Right now, though, I'd say Lakeland United are doing a better impression of a Brazilian team. Their ball possession, their foot skills. And the fact they're ahead on the scoreboard. Lakeland looking for a foul there, suggesting to the linesman that there was a tug back, and there may well have been, but it wasn't enough for the linesman to engage, and it's a goal kick for Brandon. Header back. Easily gathered. Brandon looked to build again, out of the back. Looking for some tighter passing. A little bit of possession as well. They're struggling with their possession, which means really tough to get into any kind of a groove. Again, if their ethos really is Brazilian, you'd expect them to settle down and maintain control of the ball for a stretch. Let's see if they do so now. Sliding the ball down into the channel. Looks like he stayed onside. He has one person to aim at in the middle, and the linesman put the flag up again. Work from Lakeland, winning the ball back. Machuca down the left-hand side. Tries to slot the ball inside. He may have been better off taking his man on the outside there, but very congested in the middle of the park, asking a lot of his teammate. Well, I like the improvisation there, off the chest and then a snapshot. It was a long way out and would have needed to be very special indeed to beat Yamasaki. You have to at least appreciate the creativity. And now Brandon winning the ball back high. And they have numbers. Can they make the most of it? I'll let you finish that sentence. And now it's Lakeland's turn at the other end of the field. Brandon calling for a handball. Referee not agreeing, and there's another very easy foul for him to call. Luca Frigo unceremoniously being dropped to the floor. Not much in that, really. It was a free kick. Luca and Pereira stood over it. Luca 36, Pereira number 40. Brandon doing well in defence though. Oh, I say that too quickly, and then Lakeland turned the ball over. I thought for a second Lakeland were to catch Brandon out, but then they ended up giving the ball right back to them.
O juiz é brasileiro, tá? O juiz é brasileiro, tá?
Cool composure from Lakeland. Lovely play out the back. Now they're looking to counter. They've only got 3 though. It's the full complement in Brandon's defence. It's Machuca again, who once again has been really in the middle of everything. I do hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. I think I am now. Certainly deserves that because he is really at the heart of everything that Lakeland are creating so far this evening. Just love how he continues to make himself available. Ball into the box, headed away from Brandon. It's wonderful to have midfielders who are just constantly showing for the ball, who want to be involved and really the connecting tissue, and that's certainly been Machuca's role so far this evening. Easy free kick again for the referee to give, this time in favour of Brandon. So, 30 minutes into the game, just the one goal to speak of so far, coming on the 10th minute. We think from Luca Frigo, although we will get repeated looks at the goal again at half-time, so we'll be able to confirm that for you 100%. Great ball into the box from number 40, Luca Pereira. And a perfectly executed downward header, being the difference between the two teams so far. And really, it's been all Lakeland. Up till this point, they've had the majority of the possession. They've created most of the chances. They've looked the most threatening. On top of the table, player club Brandon, struggling to get in a groove, to connect their passes, have any stretch of possession. They've had a couple of sights on goal, but they've really just been half chances, and surely here's offside again, which has been their calling card all evening. They cannot get that offside trap right, and I'm trying to decide if this is really good play in the Lakeland United defence, disciplined defending as they step up together, or if Brandon are just making the same mistake over and over again in terms of their timing. Either way, the outcome is the same: flag up and offside. And I think that perhaps is contributing to this lack of rhythm from Brandon. It's really a struggle when every opportunity you create, when every through ball you play, draws a whistle. If they want to get back in this game, they are going to have to crack that code. Right now, Lakeland United are very much looking in control of this game. Not sure I would have given a free kick there. Going to be interested to watch this one back again. I mean, there was an arm across the chest, but maybe it was a little lower than the chest, in which case that could be painful. But no, I think it was just across the chest, maybe the stomach, around the hip area. Didn't look like there was much in it, but the referee's a lot closer than I am, and ultimately it's his decision that counts. Free kick for Brandon. On board the back post, well headed out by Lakeland. It'll be Brandon back in possession there from the throw. Just aren't playing with any pace right now. Where's the urgency? Good feet in the back from DeLuca. Great work as well from Yamasaki in goal. And it's Lakeland once again with their patient possession, making their way up the field. Good interception there from Brandon though. But again, a wayward ball which they're fortunate to get back. Nothing seems to be coming off for them right now. The short game isn't there. They're struggling with the long game. It's going to click. I have faith in you, Brandon. Your record so far this season suggests there's more in the tank. Still have plenty of time to find it. Lakeland once again clearing the lines without hesitation. Brandon forced to go all the way back to their goalkeeper, who's caught a little out of shape there. Was able to get his foot around the ball though and hook it clear. Oh, excellent interception from Lakeland. It's DeLuca down the left-hand side. He may go on his own. Cuts inside. He's into... Oh, is it Machuca? Oh, what great feet. It was Machuca. I was holding my breath there for a second because I wanted to see how he tiptoed his way through that Brandon defence. Ultimately, the ball deflecting back to the goalkeeper. Good work from DeLuca on the left-hand side. Now it's Brandon heading down that right wing, cutting back in. Oh, fantastic defending from Lakeland. Defender holds up his hands, but I don't think he has anything to complain about. It was DeLuca with a heavy tackle. It was a fair tackle, at least on first viewing. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. Ball first, I don't think he went through the man. Well, the officials disagree with me. No, they don't. I thought for a second they were giving the ball to Brandon. There seems to be some confusion. I don't understand why the referee has the ball in his hand. Brandon players seem mad and stormed off. This all feels unnecessary. And ultimately the ball goes back to Yamasaki. I mean, there was nothing wrong with that tackle. Yes, it was heavy, but it was ball. There was no extended follow-through on the man. I think perhaps just frustration is starting to bubble up here a little bit for Brandon, and understandably so. Looks like I'm beating up on the visitors, and I'm really not. I just really would have expected more from them. Again, I have high hopes that we're still going to see the best of Brandon this evening. For right now, it's the Swans who are dominant. Loose pass. Rodriguez not giving Marchuka any chance of getting on the end of that 1-2. Now Brandon trying to build down the left-hand side, but look at how many sky blue shirts are in proximity. Again, Lakeland, great discipline, great shape, hunting in packs, attacking en masse. They've had a really good first half so far. Only the one goal to show for it, though. I'm sure they'd like to add to that dominance here on the scoreboard before the half-time whistle, if possible. Rodriguez just keeping things simple in the centre. I had a coach tell me once, when you're watching a soccer match, don't just watch the ball. Watch all of the play off the ball. And look everywhere but where the ball is ultimately. And if you apply that when watching a game like this, it really broadens your appreciation of what these teams are doing, Lakeland in particular, and how they're maintaining their shape, how they're transitioning so effectively, how they're playing the width as well as vertically so effectively. UPSL is really a developmental league. These are players with aspirations to go on and have professional careers in the game. This is where they learn their trade. And it's fascinating sometimes just to watch how these teams approach the game tactically, certainly technically, the individuals. That's why we enjoy commenting on these games so much. Ball comes out to the left-hand side. Lovely ball into the box. Misses the header. Beautiful delivery from Pereira again, though. You like me a Pereira as an Austin FC fan? The wonderful Danny Pereira in that Verde midfield. I'm always partial to a Pereira. I don't suppose Luca for Lakeland and Danny for Austin FC are related. But they share a wonderful surname. Machuca doing a great job of holding up the ball, trying to bring in teammates. Brandon scrambling to get back and break up the play. But they do. A little less than 5 minutes plus stoppage to go. Brandon trying to find a way back into this game before the half-time whistle. Lakeland, though, typically composed. There's surely got to be a free kick. That was unceremonious and really unnecessary. Like the attempt to try and get there first, but zero finesse. Montanini on the deck because of it. That was just a roll of the shoulder. I really don't want to sound like I'm being biased in favour of Lakeland. I truly am not, but Brandon are complaining quite a lot about things that really aren't that significant. Again, you have to wonder if maybe this is a product of how they've started this match. Long ball over the top. Offside flag, guess what? Up it goes. And the whistle follows it. If I am a member of the Brandon coaching staff right now, I am absolutely champing at the bit at halftime. I can't wait to get these players back in the locker room, pull out the whiteboard, and remind them of what it is that we have done this season, put us top of the table with 8 victories out of 10 matches. It's where the coaches earn their money. And I would be desperate to get in that locker room with those players. Do some work with them that hopefully forms a better second half performance. Now, the one thing we're not privy to, of course, because we don't have Brandon's lineup, is whether or not they're playing a slightly different lineup tonight. We are deep in the season. I think this is Brandon's last game of the regular season. Let me just double check that. I think it is. I think after this match we go into playoffs. In which case, given that the first spot in the table is already secured, well, actually not quite. It can be caught by Shock City. Point would be enough, though, for them to secure first place. But given the fact that they are definitely in playoffs, maybe the coaches have made some changes to the lineup. Maybe they want to give other players on the roster an opportunity to get minutes on the field and get on the ball. Replaying an incident here where there's a collision. Not exactly sure whose fault that was. That seemed like 6 of one and half a dozen of the other, although the referee does seem to have awarded the free kick in Brandon's favour. It looks like a Lakeland player, though, is in more distress. So, if Brandon have indeed made changes to their standard lineup, that might provide some rationale for why they are struggling to find their rhythm this evening. Nevertheless, as coaches, whether it's a change in strategy or a change in personnel, they'll be anxious to get in that locker room at half-time and make the necessary changes that sees a better second-half performance from Brandon. Happily, we have the Lakeland player back on his feet. hopefully able to continue with the match. Might have to head off the field, only to come back on with the referee's permission. Just trying to work out if there's been a sub or not, doing a quick head count. Long ball over the top, soft header, easily gathered up by the Lakeland goalkeeper. Yamasaki having a relatively quiet first 45 minutes between the pipes. The Swans. This Lakeland on the attack again, down the right-hand side. Trying to get numbers up to support. Lovely little touch. And the inside track, there's men open in the middle of the box. Oh, lovely reverse pass back. Good work from Brandon, though. Long speculative shot. Wide and nothing to worry about. Brandon. So we are beyond the 45. We're now at the referee's discretion. The referee once again having a conversation with somebody on the sidelines. This is the second or third time that this has happened. Obviously we're not privy to the conversation, don't know the nature of it is. Adding time to the clock though. Brandon probably won't be too disappointed about that. Might give them an additional minute. Try and find their way back into this match before the break. It is Lakeland who are looking to progress upfield. Lovely ball on the inside channel, but offside. Chuka just taking an extra second or two to put Frigo in. It's enough for the flag to go up. Ooh, mistake at the back from Lakeland. Can Brandon punish? Brandon may have earned themselves a free kick here in a dangerous spot. And the free kick should be direct. So Yamasaki has got to be mindful of his wall, he's got to be mindful of the shot, and also any scraps that may occur. And there are no scraps. Yamasaki gobbling that up. There will be no rebounds. I think that's the last action of the half. Indeed it is. Referee's whistle goes, and it's our hosts, Lakeland United 2, who are 1 goal to the good over visiting player Club Brandon, courtesy of a wonderful downward header from Frigo, assisted by the dangerous Luca Pereira. That's all she wrote for the first half. Wish I could be a fly on the wall in that locker room. Either locker room would be nice, but the Brandon one in particular, they have to come out with renewed vigour and a slightly different game plan in the second half, because Lakeland United looked pretty well in control after the first 45. We'll take a break and we'll join you in the second half. Welcome back to Bryant Stadium here in Lakeland, Florida, West Central Florida, for this United Premier Soccer League 1 spring season West Conference contest between Lakeland United 2 and Player Club Brandon. As you can see, only one goal separates the teams. Lakeland United scoring after the 10th minute. And our wonderful folks from Veda are going to help us out here with some halftime highlights. Not much in the way of highlights as far as Brandon go in the first 45. That snapshot being about the most testing for the Lakeland goalkeeper. It was Lakeland United, as I mentioned earlier, opening the scoring on 10 minutes. Wonderful ball in from Luca Pereira. Headed down textbook style by Luca Frigo. The Lucas combining. And then really, as far as offensive threat went, it was Lakeland all the way. That opportunity just being deflected wide. That header straight at the Brandon goalkeeper. Then Marchukwu not quite able to tiptoe his way through the Brandon defence. Brandon did have an opportunity late on with a free kick. Dangerous position. But once again, Yamasaki making it look easy. And that was all she wrote in the first 45. Pretty low-key opening first half of the game. Lakeland certainly having the better of it in terms of possession, chances created, and general rhythm of the game. I know I keep using the word rhythm. I'm trying to think of one that's better or more descriptive, but the fact of the matter is, Lakeland had that rhythm. Brandon absent from their game in the first 45. They are the team top of the tree, first place in the Florida West Conference. We expect more from them, and I'm sure we're going to see it here in the second half. Just waiting on Lakeland United to rejoin proceedings, and we will have the second period underway. I was joking with the production team here at Veda. I'm kind of sort of known as the goal whisperer. Not sure they call me that, but I'm going to go ahead and use that term. Because the last 3 or 4 games I've commentated on have been absolute goal fests. I had one game that I think it was 8-0, and I had another one where I think there were 6 goals across the 2 teams. It was end-to-end stuff and plenty of scoring. So Veda were joking with me that they brought me to this game to just try and affect the goal-scoring tally. It's always more entertaining, isn't it, when there's goals on the board. For right now, though, we just have the one. I do suspect, though, that this game is going to yield more. Lakeland have looked threatening. And Brandon, well, they're not scared of a goal or two themselves. As I mentioned earlier, this game, I think, is part of the last round of regular league games. So on the 14th of June, Florida Premier FC 2 plays Shock City FC D1. Shock actually are in second, Florida in third, so the 2 teams sandwiched between Brandon currently in first and Lakeland in fourth. So if Lakeland United can get 3 points on the board tonight, that's really important. That will actually propel them to 22 points, potentially seeing them leap. Well, I'm not sure quite how it works in UPSL, whether or not goal difference is the big indicator, or whether or not it's head-to-head games. Potentially that could propel Lakeland into third place. It's goal difference, however, I think they're just going to solidify their spot here in fourth. I'll put some daylight, though, between themselves and Dynamic Football, who are currently in fifth. On the same night, Twin Rivers will play Dynamic Football, who will be desperate for a victory if Lakeland can hold on this evening. And then rounding out the season on the 16th, States FC 2 play Florida Celtic. Neither of those teams really able to make much of a dent in their season, regardless of how that game pans out. Florida Celtic might be able to squeeze into the playoffs. Even though their last game of the regular season, they'll at least know what they have to do. Right now, this game is underway, and Brandon know what they need to do, and that's score. And they may do here down the left-hand side, and they do! Takes them less than a minute to reach parity. Yamasaki beaten at the near post. What a composed finish. Yamasaki and probably most observers of the game would have expected that shot to go across the goalkeeper into all that real estate at the back post. Instead, nifty little finish at the front post. And Brandon a level, just like that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a game on our hands. Very early sub there from Brandon. I wonder if that was an injury sub. Perhaps a player at halftime who was struggling, suggesting they could carry on, and then realizing within about 60 seconds, yeah, this is not working. If that is the case, you have to admire the honesty. After leveling the game up, Brandon will not want to play with a man down. Early attempted a free kick by Lakeland. I can see what they were trying to do. So could Brandon. Long ball out the back. It's lost momentarily. Brandon responds the quickest. Now they may have an opportunity to attack again. Seem to have the bit between their teeth right now. I'm not sure we have anything. Oh, that is a heavy, clumsy tackle. I think it's a player who was involved in a similar tackle in the first half, and the referee giving a yellow card on this occasion. Again, I'm all for a meaty tackle, but you got to make an attempt at the ball. The ball was long gone. The first yellow in the match. Lakeland with the free kick. I'll wait though for the referees to take care of administrative issues. Yep, paperwork is complete. We can continue. Lakeland deciding to maintain possession rather than punting the ball forward. Nice job in tight spaces, but Brandon able to win the ball back, only to give it back to Lakeland, and they are now in behind the Brandon defence, but the first touch takes them wide. Oh, wonderful footwork though, ball into the centre of the box. Not able to dispatch the shot. Chance isn't over, but it is now. Good work from Brandon, clearing their lines. Nice pace from Lakeland United, both in terms of how quickly they move the ball, but also footwork out there on the right wing. Getting around defenders and creating an opportunity, potentially for a shot on goal, although Lakeland not able to get one off on this occasion. Be anxious to get their noses back in front though as quickly as possible, if possible. Santos throws it in. Lakeland Playing the ball from right to left. Might be a shot on here. It is a good shot. Peeled wide though at the end. It was maybe on target when it left his foot, but it was always bending to the right. And found itself well outside of the posts ultimately. Brandon goalkeeper didn't look too panicked, did he? So maybe from my angle it looked a bit more dangerous than it was in IRL, as the kids would say today, in real life. A dad of 2 teens myself, and most of the time I have absolutely no idea what they're saying, and it's even worse on text. But anyway, that's a rabbit hole we don't need to get down. Let's get back to the game. Ball pinging around in the middle of the park. Brandon beating it down the left-hand side. Not much though in the way of support. A swarming Lakeland side. Well, that was a free kick. Certainly gilded the lily with the acrobatics, but definitely contact and a free kick in favour of Brandon. Ball deep to the back post, headed back across, but ultimately headed out. It seemed to come off the top of his head rather than his forehead. We've all made that mistake, haven't we? Lakeland trying to set goal scorer Frigo off early through the centre of the park. Ball a little bit too long for him, but he decides to chase it down anyway. Keep the Brandon goalkeeper honest. Long punt out the back. Brandon are trying to get onto the flick on. Maybe able to pick something up off the second ball. Oh, that's a great interception from Lakeland. Curling ball all the way to the back post. Brandon are going to have to recycle. This is better from Brandon though. Seeing more of the ball, having a lot more possession, not turning the ball over quite so quickly in the attacking third as well, which was definitely one of the problems in the first half. They were struggling to maintain possession, but also appeared to be panicking. Were playing balls too early and getting offside every time. Now they're at least holding the ball up top, waiting for players to join them. They can start crafting something. Oh, nice tackle from Lakeland. Is there anything ahead of this young man, though? Good sliding tackle from Brandon. Lakeland again winning the ball back. They can try and create down the left-hand side. And themselves a throw-in. In the 50-50 minute, still 1-1. Early goal in the first half from Lakeland United, just 10 minutes into the match. Brandon tying things up within a minute at the start of the second half. This definitely feels like a more even-handed game now. Feels more balanced. Brandon finally demonstrating some threat. Lakeland United still very much in this game. This truly feels like a game that could go either way. Quite frankly, a draw doesn't do either of these teams well. Brandon will want all 3 points because they will want to solidify their place as high at the table as possible. Ideally, first place at the end of regular season, if possible. Lakeland, likewise, they want to lock down that 4th spot. Look pretty assured of post-season at this point, but 3 points tonight will 100% confirm it. High very much leads this game in the balance. Both teams. There are teams around them who are playing matches over the next few days who could have an impact on their fates. The victory tonight, whichever team secures it, enables them to decide what happens next. What happens now is Lakeland United have a free kick. A dangerous position, begging for a good delivery. You know, if Luca Pereira is anywhere near the ball, there's a good chance you're going to get one. Lakeland have had some success getting heads on the end of crosses, mostly from corners in the first half, and of course the goal. They've done a good job though of getting ahead of the Brandon defence. Oh, change up this time though. It's a chip ball into the box. Another header. Touch. Oh, narrowly wide. It felt like there were 3 opportunities to score there. Lovely little dink into the middle of the box. Flicked header, then a touch, then a player crashing the back post. None of them able to get enough of the ball to test the Brandon goalkeeper, or indeed notch a go-ahead tally. Nice creativity though from Lakeland on the free kick.
Valeu. Tem algum jogo seu ou não? Não. Nenhum mais. Você tem que me cobrir, você sabe. Jogo sábado, né? Valeu, Bunhões. Um abraço, irmão.
The referee took his time to decide on that free kick. I think maybe he was playing the advantage. When he saw that Lakeland had none, he decided to call the play back. Lakeland again deciding to go short on the free kick, trying to maintain possession. Build something with numbers. Now it's Brandon snapping at their heels. Definitely a new energy from Brandon in this second half. It's not all quite clicking for them just yet, but this is a marked improvement on their first half performance. Oh, lovely touch off the chest. But Lakeland giving up the play again, only to win it back and give it up once more. Smart thinking from Lakeland. Lovely back heel. Back into the path of the thrower. It's Frigo. Snapshot. Good save from the Brandon goalkeeper. Gotta love that first time strike. Hard and low, but the goalkeeper responding well. Dropping to parry that shot away. Reflexes from the Brandon goalkeeper. Shot possibly could have been a bit more challenging. Out to one side or the other, but still require the Brandon goalkeeper to react, and he did so effectively. Great chance. Created by... a slip from the goalkeeper. Still found its way out down the field. But Lakeland, good opportunity again, coming from their quick thinking, and that's one thing I think has distinguished them in this game. Well, as I mentioned before, they clearly had the better of the second half, but I think generally speaking, it's their ability to change pace. It's their ability to switch the tempo that has opened Brandon up on a number of occasions, including that last one. Quick throw in, bit of creativity on the back heel, no hesitation on the shot, all of it done up tempo. And it's hard to defend that. It's very difficult when a team doesn't linger on a ball or take an extra touch. Be able to get in there and intercept. Haven't really seen that pace from Brandon yet. definitely fought their way back into this game second half, but yet still, not quite seeing that crispness of play. And if we're going to see it here, that's a lovely ball over the top. Offside. No, it isn't. I thought the flag had gone up. But that's the go-ahead goal for... Well, no, the referee has called it back. Clearly, I'm in the wrong position. Shouldn't be in the commentary box, and he'd be down there with a red shirt and a whistle. It looked offside to me. It was a wonderful touch. I mean, the ball popped up, but that got a little flick over the top. Well, you know what? That's a hard one to call from here. Could have been level. It was offside. It wasn't by a much. Lakeland, they're breathing a sigh of relief because I just got done describing how effectively they changed the tempo, how they were creative, how they were moving the ball more quickly, and it was that were opening up opportunities for them. Literally just taking breath. And Brandon do likewise. Quick ball into the middle of the park. Creative touch over the defence. No hesitation on the dispatch. But it was all for naught. Referee calls it back. Offside. And the game remains 1-1. Lakeland working the ball from right to left and trying to find some space down that left wing. Teammates scrambling to get in the box. I think the referee scored a free kick there. I'm sorry. Again, I bring my own bias to this. I didn't see much in that. That looked like shoulder to shoulder. But of course, the referee is a lot closer to the play than I am. And I guess he decided that was just too aggressive. Free kick to Brandon. It's Lakeland again, swarming upfield. Good defending from Brandon, though. May have injured himself in the process. Wonder if he overextended. He did that sliding tackle, or he got stood on. I think it's just cramp. That's not a pleasant sensation. Lakeland are asking a lot with these Brandon defenders and midfielders tracking back because they're so willing to carry the ball. And when you have players that are willing to take you on and carry the ball, try and get them behind you, you've got to be on your toes and you've got to be prepared to try and retrieve the ball or at least deflect it away in any way, shape or form. And that's what Lakeland have been asking Brandon players to do all evening. It's tough. Good interception from Brandon. Can they create something quick on the counter? Not with a pass like that. A teammate just suggesting, right here. To my feet, please. Oh, lovely improvisation from Lakeland. It's all flicks and headers at this point. So we're into the last 30 minutes. Who is going to come out on this on top? Will it be the home team? The Swans? Team have really been on top for the majority of the match, or will it be our visitors from Brandon with the Brazilian DNA? Again, tie doesn't really help either club. Both will be anxious to secure all 3 points. The next 24 minutes and change will determine if either team have it in them to get that done. I'm going to go out on a limb and say there's at least a goal left in this game. Maybe 2. Brendan take the free kick early. Switching from right to left. Are brought down. Ball over the top. That's going to be gobbled up by Yamasaki. Still no sign of that rain that was threatened later this evening. Hopefully it will continue to hold off. Although who knows? Maybe a bit of a greasy field might add a whole new dimension to proceedings. Well, we may not be getting rain, but I think we are getting water. I think the players have stepped off for a refreshment break, a rehydration break. I assume that's what it is. Yeah. If it were anything other than that, the officials would be leaving the field too. So, quick moment of respite for the players, about midway through this second half. Give you a quick recap again on the goal scorers. In the first half, it was Lakeland United 2 taking the lead after 10 minutes. We go with the header. As you want to see the playback here. Lovely ball in from the left-hand side. Great header down beyond the outstretched arm of the Brandon goalkeeper. Lakeland enjoying the bulk of the possession and most of the chances in the first half, but early in the second half, Brandon pulled things level. In fact, it only took 1 minute for them to find their opening goal of the game. Very neat front post finish. 2 goals, a great quality actually. Hasn't been much in the way of clear-cut chances this evening. But on those 2 occasions, both players really stepping up and getting the job done. We're back underway. 20 minutes of regulation still to go. Plus whatever the officials add on. The clock didn't stop for the water break, I noticed, so I have to imagine there's going to be at least 2, maybe 3 minutes of time beyond the 90. Lakeland doing a good job of getting around the back of the defence. Again, good work from the goalkeeper. Came out, made himself big. From that angle, it was always going to require a lot to squeeze the ball in. Got a little help from his defender there. The shot ricocheted back off the goalkeeper, hit the defender, causing the ball to deflect back into the goalkeeper's hands. Gotta love it when you get a little luck like that. We have some more cramp I mentioned it's not devastatingly hot this evening. It's in about 80 degrees, but it is humid, as it tends to be in Florida. With that cloud cover, it's quite sweltering. And these conditions can draw the moisture out of your body very, very quickly, leading to cramp. I was in Dallas this past week, nowhere near as humid as Florida. But I went for a run a couple of mornings I was there. It was just humid enough. And it was pretty unpleasant. It's that humidity that when you get done running, you're absolutely dripping with sweat. You strip off, get showered, get into fresh clothes, and somehow you're still dripping with sweat. About the next 20 minutes. I've also been the recipient of kidney stones previously. That was horrific. 0 stars, would not recommend. But that, of course, is a product as well of being dehydrated. Largely. There are other pieces there, other factors that can contribute to it, but largely it's dehydration. And it was horrible, let me tell you. Lakeland back on the ball. Trying to catch Brandon out, but good defending. Although Lakeland regaining possession again pretty quickly. That was a dangerous option. Could have cleared the ball left, could have rolled it back to the goalkeeper, decided to go across the face of a Lakeland striker. He stuck his foot out there. They expected a defender to do that. He might have gotten possession in a very dangerous position. Org with the throw-in. Oh, good work from Lakeland. The goalkeeper again, though, making himself big. Acting that shot away to safety. Well, right now, the smart money would be on Lakeland. They do look the more threatening of the two teams. That being said, Brandon's goal at the beginning of the second half came from absolutely nowhere. So they've done it once, they can do it again. Anyone will tell you there's no such thing as smart money. Nice ball from Brandon, breaking the lines. They're forced to go back. Lakeland again, disciplined defending. Numbers everywhere. If you're a Brandon player, you get the ball, you look up, and you just seem to be drowning in a sea of sky blue. Almost looks like the Lakeland players have more players out here on the field than the opposition, which of course isn't the case, but it's kind of how you feel. Ball dinked over the top from Brandon. Nicely brought down on his chest, trying to deflect the ball into the path of a teammate. Didn't quite get it right. Good idea. It's not quite the execution. As you say on the golf course, good idea, wrong club. Uncharacteristically long ball over the top from Lakeland. They've been building out the back. On that occasion, trying to utilise the pace of their goal scorer. Their goal scoring partner. That was Frigo, but Frigo's out here on the right hand side. Either way, trying to catch Brandon out. And it didn't quite work out, and now it's Brandon in possession and on the attack. Again, great work from Lakeland trying to get back and defend. And doing so valiantly. Brandon, though, back in possession. Lovely flick. Got around his man, not able to get onto the ball on the other side, but they do win themselves a throw-in. Look, they have some real urgency here. You can tell how desperate they are to get this victory. Again, as I mentioned earlier, a tie not really doing either team any good. It doesn't really do them any damage in the short term. But in terms of the goals that they have in mind, takes control of those things rather out of their hands. It means they're going to be watching the remaining 4 games that we have this season anxiously over the next few days, waiting to see how other teams fare. You never want that situation. If you have control of your destiny, you want to maintain that to the last. Only a victory for either team will enable that winning team to do that tonight. I don't think that's a free kick. The referee has said it's a free kick. It's a free kick. Felt to me like the Lakeland player just judged the bounce better, and he turned and was already on his way. Don't think he did anything particularly overt. It was requiring of a whistle. And yet here we are. Brandon. Dangerous free kick. Plenty enough space to get the ball up, over the wall and down again. Yamasaki like a cat on a hot tin roof. Trying to organise his wall and get prepared here. It's a shot. Deflects off the wall. Straight to Yamasaki. Not a horrible free kick. I said it deflected off the wall. I don't think it did. I think it went through a gap that the wall had left. And they jumped. They split. I'm sure Yamasaki wasn't particularly happy with that. The wall is there to do a job, and it didn't, but he was Johnny on the spot. Brought the ball down well. Lakeland now, trying to attack down the right-hand side. Not a particularly good first touch, taking them wide. Chip ball into the box. Oh, it's off the crossbar! And then a header straight to the goalkeeper. Oh, he thought that was the go-ahead goal for Lakeland. No VAR here, though. No goal line technology either. No buzzing referee watches. Simply an eyeball situation. Did that ball cross the line or not? I'm not confident that the whole ball did cross the line. Deflection, though, in favour of Lakeland. Follow-up header. Not able to trouble the Brandon goalkeeper. Great opportunity for the Swans. Really good ball in from the right-hand side. I thought the winger had taken that ball a little too far. Look at this, he came back inside, put it on his left foot, a little dink. Does that ball cross the line? No, it doesn't. Not even a chance. Wasn't the greatest header in the follow-up, and I wonder if that was just a product of being completely taken off guard, not expecting that ball to come back to you. Which is fair. I mean, the ball came back at such a weird angle off the crossbar. We would have expected it to show up where it did. And the game remains 1-1, heading into the last 10 minutes. Free kick to Brandon.
Mobil, que é uma das mais picas, não fez gol na gente. O William Carey fez gol. A gente não tomou gol no nacional. O William Carey fez gol da gente. Não. Eu fiz gol no Alabama? Onde que é o William Carey? North Carolina? Qual que era? Júpiter? Não, Nile.
So subs being made in the second half. Really important when you have players cramping up all over the field. You want to get fresh legs out there. In addition to whatever additional skills and knowledge and problems those new players might present to the opposition. Problems to solve. Fresh faces with new ideas. And it's Lakeland right now trying to craft something, having ideas are going through the middle of Brandon's defence. Brandon, though, having other ideas, clearing the ball out. Lakeland, though, back in possession. Not able to make any progress down the left-hand side. Instead, from the throw-in, deciding to go back. Long ball from left to right. Not under possession as well. It's Frigo, not able to create a shooting lane. Good first touch. He's not able to find the space for a shot. A little bit of head tennis. Brandon earning themselves a free kick. Looks like there's been a high number of free kicks in this game, and yet only the one yellow card. You don't have to give yellow cards for every offence, of course, and you don't want to see a referee giving out yellow cards like confetti. Feels a little bit like the ratio's off tonight. That being said, I'd always rather a referee err on the side of just letting the game flow rather than getting overly officious. Rigo asking for a handball. Referee allowing play to continue. Long ball out the back from the Brandon goalkeeper. Lakeland watch it out for the throw-in. All over the top from Lakeland. Trying to beat the offside trap. Almost did so. Brief now, players are dropping like flies. The ball over the top. I think it was Frigo onto it. Not quite able to get away from his man. There was... Well, Frigo goes down as well. Random defender goes down, and then lastly another one goes down. On come the medical staff. Is it cramp again? You know, when fit young players go down, as often as we've seen these players go down, for seemingly cramp or cramp-related situations, it does make you appreciate just how hard the conditions are here in Florida. We lived in Texas for a while, the Austin area. Every now and then we'd have to go for tournaments in Houston. I mentioned Dallas earlier in the broadcast. Dallas is humid. Houston is next level. I want to say Houston isn't too far away from Florida in terms of humidity levels. And I would be stood on the sidelines watching my daughter play in a tournament, and I would be absolutely dripping with sweat as though I just stepped out of the shower fully clothed. And yet somehow she, playing as a number 8 in midfield, would be going box to box, providing assists, scoring goals, getting tackles in. And honest to the Lord, I had absolutely no idea how she was doing that. Walking from one end of the field to the other exhausted me. And I'm pretty fit. So yeah, absolutely. Total appreciation for these players out here playing under these conditions. June in Florida is a tough ask. I think we may have a corner. Again, a little bit of pinball wizard there, but it went in Lakeland's favour. And it is they who have the opportunity to take advantage of another dead ball situation. Clustering players at the back post again. Going to burst out like an anthill. Struck with a stick. Not able to make the most of that particular instance. Herrera loses the ball and tries to hustle back. Gets a little help. You know, I have to say, Brandon's uniforms are pretty snazzy. Never seen anything quite like them. I love the uniqueness of them, but I also love what Lakeland are doing. I do love a good single colour uniform. I'm partial to a Real Madrid all white. In the case of the Swans this evening, all sky blue. With that navy blue trim. Very sharp. Two well-dressed teams this evening. That's a foul throw if I ever saw one. Referee saying play on. Game feeling pretty fractured at this point. It has done, I think, for the last 20 minutes or so. Neither team really putting together anything that's too threatening. Feels like both of them are feeding off scraps at this point. Yeah, and you have to imagine that drop in quality, that drop in cohesiveness, a contributing factor to that has to be the conditions. Come on, guys. I am the Pied Piper commentary of goals. Where I commentate, goals follow. There has to be at least one more in this match. A little over 10 minutes to go. Who's going to notch it? And Lakeland's going to make the most of their home advantage. Or Brandon going to impose their dominance on this match? Being as they are table toppers, first place in the standings. Who's going to turn the screw? Who's going to win this game? Both teams continuing to contest the ball. But I love this. No quarter given. Late in the game. Tough conditions. Both teams giving it their all. Long ball over the top. Asking a lot of Lakeland. Brandon doing a nice job of just shepherding the ball out of play. There's always an ask. Lakeland. We're anxious to get things going again, and once more we have a Brandon player down on the floor. At this point, I'm imagining there should be at least 4 or 5 minutes of extra time, but I'm wondering if the referee might just decide that Vala is the better option here. Actually blow the whistle at the 90-minute mark. Clearly both teams are exhausted. Brandon do seem to be suffering more than Lakeland. It's been hard going for both teams this evening. Brandon, long ball punted forward. Gathered up on the left wing. Okay, that was very theatrical. Referee having none of it. Lakeland continue to play. And now we have another foul. And the referee has his whistle in his mouth and I think is playing advantage. So Lakeland continue their progress down the left-hand side. All out of play. So we're beyond the 90. At the official's discretion at this point. Game still tied up, 1 apiece. Brandon with the throw-in. Lakeland clear. Brandon, wild slice. That's a handball, surely right to the referee's nose. Brandon get away with it and maintain possession, but Lakeland turn them over. Not able to spring an attack of their own. Ball goes back to the Brandon keeper. He drills it long. Lakeland back in possession. And the clock keeps ticking. Both teams anxious for this W. Lakeland arguably needing it a little more. And Brandon, good tackle, maybe a little heavy-handed. The referee decides it was. Got the ball, but got a lot of the man in that instance as well. Certainly have sympathy for Brandon. May have even gone through the man to get the ball, which in this day and age referees do frown on. Consider it a little bit reckless. More than the tackle though, it was the heavy fall. Player indicating it was on the lower back. That's nasty, especially on turf. Some of these turf fields can be really unforgiving. Almost like falling on concrete. I'd be fascinated to see how much time the referee adds. I think there's an argument at this point for 6 or 7 minutes to be tacked onto the clock. I don't think the players are going to want that. I'm not sure as tired as they are that players could even make use of that time. I think if we are going to get a goal late on, I almost suspect it's an error that's going to lead to it as opposed to a moment of brilliance. This really is a little troubling. The Brandon player on the floor. Whether it's an injury in the lower back, around the spine, the fact that we have medics, I'm not going to say pressing, but touching the lower back would seem to suggest that it's nothing too serious. Generally speaking, when it's an issue around the spine, kind of that general vertebrae area, they tend not want to touch it too much or even move players, and clearly we can see here that the Brandon player is moving. Again, heavy, wholehearted tackle. I don't think there was anything malicious in it. It certainly got a lot of the player, and I think it was, again, the more the way the player fell, it was a concern than anything else. He is at least sat up, I think, about to be upright. So that's wonderful. That's great to see. You are going to be sore in the morning, young man. And if you think it's bad tomorrow morning, wait till day 2. My experience, the second day is always the worst. I'm not even sure if Brandon have any subs at this point. And they could play a man down and batten down the hatches. No player wants to leave the field of play unless they absolutely have to. Particularly if they're going to leave their team short-handed. And if this were a prize fight, we would have 2 boxers right now, with their heads resting on one another's shoulders, as they listlessly delivered soft punches to the abdomen of their opponent. Neither team appear to have much gas left in the tank. Lakeland to try to inject some urgency into proceedings. This has been tough going tonight. This has been a top-of-the-table contest. I mean, these are 2 teams separated by very little. As I said at the top of the broadcast, Lakeland's Achilles heel has been their propensity for drawing games rather than getting them over the line. They'd even won 2 of the 4 games they had drawn this season. They'd be on level points with Brandon. It's those small margins that dictate league position. So 2 teams very much in the same zeitgeist, operating in the same rarefied air at the top of the league. So yes, we should expect a tight contest like the one we've seen this evening. Nice acrobatic clearance from Brandon. Try and dip the ball over the top. It's Going to take a little bit from the Lakeland defender to get back here, but they are getting back en masse. No tug of the shirt. Referee could have called that, decided not to. One or two surprising decisions from the officials this evening. None of them having a massive bearing on the game. Got to be fair and say. Being questionable nonetheless. And then trying to bring the ball down, only to go ahead and launch it long. Now Lakeland, with a launch of their own. Cleared out from Brandon. Again, I think both teams are probing, looking for that mistake, looking for that defender to miscue a ball or not quite time their header properly. Creating an opportunity for one team to get in behind another's defence. It is again, ball over the top. Trying to set a winger off. Oof. I thought perhaps that was rough defending, but in fact the ball had already gone out of play. And that's the final whistle. Two powerhouses at the top of the Florida West Conference, slugging it out to a draw, a 1-1 final score. Game with moments of brilliance, certainly intensely contested. Not with that magic moment. Finally get either team over the line and secure all 3 points. It was Lakeland that took the lead early on. Good header from Luca Frigo. It was just 10 minutes into the match. Lakeland certainly looking the better of the two teams for that first 45 minutes. But just 60 seconds into the second 45, and Brandon equalised, a wonderful, incisive front post finish. And despite both teams huffing and puffing, trying to find that second goal through a variety of different approaches, balls over the top, tiki-taka football, balls out to the wing, crosses into the box. Nothing quite came off. And so we finished the match 1-1 in this UPSL Division 1 Florida West Conference match. I've been your commentator, Mark Turner, here with your Veda Media team. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's broadcast and have a great rest of your evening. Good night.
Martin, Nico Cola with the recovery. Once again the cross. They could shoot, and it's in!
That guy Fran, who gets inside and gets a shot past the goalkeeper. Wonderful work from Fran.
Malcolm on the right side. The shot!